You're in your one-on-one, the late afternoon one. Your boss leans back, that practiced concern on their face. "I just want what's best for the team," they say. "Your coffee went cold 20 minutes ago." The fluorescent light above flickers like it's sending Morse code warnings. They slide a document across the table. It's about a project that's failing. A project you warned them about 3 months ago. And now, somehow, they're asking if you can take ownership. You feel it, that familiar twist in your stomach, the one that keeps you up Sunday nights. Here's what's actually happening. Your boss is using psychological tactic number 4 of the 8 I'm about to expose. These aren't accidents. They're not personality quirks. They're deliberate manipulation techniques that keep you confused, compliant, and constantly doubting yourself. Let's decode every single one. 1. The ownership trap. Your boss loves this word, ownership. It sounds empowering, doesn't it? Like trust, like respect, like career growth. It's none of those things. Watch how it works. There's a project failing. Not your project, never your project initially, but suddenly your boss needs someone to own it. They frame it as an opportunity, a chance to prove yourself, to step up. They thought of you specifically. Translation. Nobody else was stupid enough to take it. Here's the psychology. They're exploiting your need for validation and advancement. They know you want to be seen as reliable, as a team player. They're counting on your fear of saying no, of looking weak, of missing an opportunity. The key phrase they always use, "I need someone who can take full ownership." Notice the language. Not help with or support on, full ownership of someone else's disaster. Your defense? Ask these questions immediately. What's the current status? Why is the previous owner transitioning off? What resources come with this? What does success look like, specifically? Watch them squirm. They hate specifics. If you must take it, send a follow-up email documenting the disaster you're inheriting. Note that the project is already behind schedule due to decisions made before your involvement. The ownership trap only works if you accept their frame. Let's talk about the next one. 2. The urgency illusion. Everything is urgent. Everything is critical. Everything needs to be done by end of day. Except it doesn't. Your boss sends that Friday 4 p.m. message. Need those Q3 numbers first thing Monday. Your weekend just evaporated. Again, but here's what they're not telling you. They've known about this for 2 weeks. The actual deadline is Thursday. They just want it early so they look prepared in their boss's meeting. The urgency illusion works because it triggers your fight or flight response. You stop thinking critically. You just react. You cancel plans. You work late. You deliver. And they learn it works. The psychology is simple. Manufactured urgency creates artificial importance. It makes their priorities your emergencies. It prevents you from questioning the request because there's no time. It also makes you look like the bottleneck if you push back. The telltale sign, critical for tomorrow's board meeting. The board meeting that's been scheduled for a month, the one they just realized needs fresh data. You're thinking, you just realized? Really? Your defense strategy starts with questions. What specific decisions will be made with this information? What happens if we deliver it Tuesday instead? Who else is contributing to this urgent request? Then use the magic phrase, I can deliver quality work by Wednesday, or I can deliver something rushed by Monday. Which would you prefer? Make them own the trade-off. Document their choice in writing. Per our conversation, delivering rushed version by Monday as requested. Let that word rushed sit in their inbox in the historical record. The urgency is rarely real. The manipulation always is. 3. The compliment sandwich. You're doing great work, really great, but there's this one thing. Actually, a few things. But overall, you're solid. You just got served a manipulation sandwich, and you're supposed to swallow it with a smile. This tactic is particularly insidious. It starts with praise to lower your defenses. Then comes the real message, the criticism, the new demands, the scope creep. then a tiny bit more praise to confuse your emotional response. You leave the conversation unsure how to feel. Were you praised or criticized? Are you doing well or failing? That confusion is the point. The psychology exploits our need for validation. The opening compliment triggers dopamine. You relax, your critical thinking drops, then comes the hit. But before you can process it, there's another compliment. Your brain doesn't know what to do with the mixed signals, so you do nothing. You accept it all. What just happened in that conversation? You got assigned 2 major tasks, but it feels like you got promoted. Your defense requires parsing. Separate each element, thank them for the feedback on one thing, then ask to discuss the other issues separately. What specific problems are you seeing? Break the sandwich apart. Address each layer independently. Never accept bundled feedback. Make them justify each criticism individually. The sandwich only works if you eat it whole. Here's another favorite of theirs. 4. The moving goalpost. You hit the target, every single metric. You documented everything. You're ready for your review. Then they move the target. Yes, you hit the numbers, but what about innovation? The quality's there, but what about quantity? You met the deadline. But what about stakeholder satisfaction? There's always something else. Something that wasn't in the original agreement, something that suddenly matters more than what you achieved. This tactic keeps you perpetually behind, perpetually striving, perpetually failing by new standards they just invented. It ensures you never feel secure enough to push back, ask for more, or realize your actual worth. The psychology is about power through instability. If you never know what success looks like, you can never achieve it. If you can never achieve it, you can never leverage it. You're always grateful just to have a job. Watch this pattern. Q1, focus on accuracy. Q2, you're too slow, need speed. Q3, moving too fast, where's the quality? Q4, why aren't you innovating? Each quarter you fail by a new metric. The previous metric, forgotten. Your success there? Irrelevant. Defense requires documentation. Save every goal, every target, every metric. When they move the goalpost, pull out the original agreement. In our Q1 planning, we agreed success meant X. I've achieved X. Are we changing our success metrics? Make them acknowledge the shift explicitly. Get the new goals in writing, then add, to clarify we're prioritizing this new metric over our original goals. They hate being caught moving the posts, but they hate documentation even more. Speaking of power plays. 5, in the isolation play, suddenly you're not invited to meetings. Your peer conversations get shut down. Let's not discuss compensation. Don't share that with the team yet. This stays between us. You're being isolated strategically. This tactic cuts you off from information, allies, and perspective. You don't know if your experience is normal, if others are struggling, if that raise you were denied was given to everyone or just you. Information asymmetry is power, and they're hoarding all of it. The psychology targets our fundamental need for connection and belonging. When isolated, we become dependent on the very person isolating us. Stockholm Syndrome, corporate edition. We start believing their version of reality because it's the only version we have. The phrases to watch for: let's keep this between us for now. I don't want this affecting team morale. Translation: I don't want you comparing notes. I don't want unified pushback. I don't want you knowing your worth. Your defense is strategic transparency. When they say it stays between us, ask if there's a business reason for confidentiality. Share general experiences without specifics. Ask colleagues about their challenges with timelines without mentioning your specific project. Build your network carefully. Coffee chats, lunch walks, parking lot conversations. The gossip by the printer isn't unprofessional. It's survival intelligence gathering. They want you isolated because isolation makes you weak. Connection makes you dangerous. Now for the really cruel one. 6, the scarcity mindset. Budget's tight this year. We're lucky to have jobs. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Do you know how many people would kill for your position? They're programming you for gratitude. Gratitude for scraps. This tactic makes you feel lucky for the bare minimum. Lucky to be overworked, lucky to be underpaid, lucky to be chosen for exploitation. It reframes their failures as your privileges, their cheapness as your opportunity. The psychology is about manufactured gratitude. When you believe resources are scarce, you stop asking for more. You compete with colleagues instead of collaborating. You accept less because at least it's something. But here's the thing, the scarcity is selective. There's no budget for your raise, but there's budget for the executive retreat. No money for promotions, but money for consultants. No resources for your project, but resources for their pet initiative. The classic line, I fought for you to get this 2% raise. You should know how hard I pushed. Meanwhile, they got 15%. Your defense requires perspective. Research industry standards. Know your market value. When they play scarcity, counter with data. I understand budget constraints. However, market rate for this role is X. How can we work toward alignment? Call out selective scarcity. I notice we have budget for new initiatives. Can we discuss reallocating some resources to retain talent? The scarcity is manufactured, or your gratitude shouldn't be. Almost done. But this next one might be the worst. 7. The future. Promise stick with me, and you'll go places. This is temporary pain for long-term gain. Your time will come. We're grooming you for bigger things. The promise that never arrives. This tactic exploits hope. It makes you endure current exploitation for future rewards. Rewards that are always 6 months away, a year away. And after this project, after the restructuring, after. The psychology is brilliant and cruel. Hope is powerful. It makes us endure almost anything. And unlike immediate rewards, future promises cost nothing. They can promise forever without delivering ever. I fell for this one. 3 years. 3 years of next promotion cycle. 3 years of after this big project. 3 years of watching others get promoted while I got promises. The pattern is always the same. You're on the leadership track. Just need more consistency. Next year is definitely your year. We see big things in your future here. Translation, work harder for free, but not this year. We see big exploitation in your present. Your defense needs deadlines. I appreciate the long-term vision. Can we set specific milestones and timelines? Get it in writing based on our discussion. Promotion consideration in Q3, contingent on X, Y, Z. When Q3 comes and the promise evaporates, you have receipts. Future promises are checks they never intend to cash. Stop accepting IOUs for your career. One more. The grand finale of manipulation. The gaslight special. I never said that. You must have misunderstood. That's not what happened. You're being too sensitive. Everyone else seems fine with it. They're rewriting reality and making you question your own memory, perception, and sanity. This is the meta tactic, and it supports all the others. When you call out manipulation, they gaslight. And when you have receipts, they reframe. When you remember clearly, they cloud your clarity. The psychology attacks your fundamental sense of reality. If you can't trust your own perception, how can you trust your judgment that you're being manipulated? You can't fight what you're not sure is happening. It happens in subtle ways. Monday, make this your top priority. Friday, why did you spend so much time on that? Email says great job. Review says needs improvement. Meeting consensus on approach. Later, they had concerns from the start. Your defense is documentation. Obsessive documentation. Follow up every verbal conversation with email. Per our discussion. Become the person who always wants to confirm understanding. They'll hate it. That's how you know it's working. When they say he never said that, you pull the receipt. When they claim it didn't happen, you have the email thread. When they say you're being sensitive, you say you're being specific. Gaslighting only works in darkness. Documentation is your flashlight. You're still in that, one-on-one. The fluorescent light still flickers. Your coffee's not just cold now, it's separated. Your boss is still talking about ownership, about opportunity, about your future, but something's different now. You see it, all of it. The ownership trap they're setting, the false urgency they'll create, the compliments hiding criticism, the goalposts on wheels, the isolation they're planning, the scarcity mindset they're selling, the future they'll never deliver, the reality they'll try to rewrite. You see it all, and they see you seeing it. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. These tactics only work on people who don't recognize them, who don't name them, who don't document them, who don't connect with others experiencing them. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're not imagining things. You're being psychologically manipulated by people who've turned it into standard operating procedure. But you know what? Once you see the playbook, you can't be played. Once you know the tactics, you become tactical. Once you recognize the game, you can choose not to play. Document everything. Trust your perception. Build your network. Know your worth. Set boundaries. Get things in writing. Ask uncomfortable questions. Make them be specific. You don't have to accept ownership of their failures. Yeah, their urgency isn't your emergency. Their sandwich isn't your meal. Their goalposts aren't your goals. Their isolation isn't your reality. Their scarcity isn't your worth. Their promises aren't your future. Their gaslighting isn't your truth. That conversation in the conference room, it's not about opportunity. It's about exploitation. And now you know exactly what to say. I appreciate you thinking of me. Let me review the project status and resources, and I'll get back to you with what I'd need to succeed. Then document everything. Connect with colleagues, research your market value. And remember, you're not stuck there. You never were. You just needed to see the tactics. Now you do. And that changes everything. The fluorescent light is still flickering. Your coffee's still cold. But you're not the same person who walked into that room. You're dangerous now, in the best way possible.